Hello. Hey, good to see you. Um, this is actually a clickbait topic because I don't think there's a magic fix unless you're talking about like genetics or like people are born rich, like maybe you're born into a rich family, maybe it's genetics like jackpot. Um, I don't think there's a magic fix in fitness or in success. It's a lot of hard work and a bit of luck. So yeah, the magic fix would be luck, genetics, being born rich, that sort of stuff. But if you're not talking about these things, I don't think it's a magic fix. And so a lot of people, when they ask me for advice, like fitness advice, they're always looking for a shortcut. Like, oh, what do you eat? Is there like a specific food you eat that would make you like more likely to lose weight fast? Or they say, like in psychology, when I work with clients, they would be like, oh, tell me one thing, give me the thing that will help me feel better. Like, give me this magic fix. And if they don't get it immediately, they sometimes get discouraged and don't come back because, oh, it's been 2 sessions and I'm not getting better. So people are always looking for a shortcut or magic fix, but the truth is there isn't a magic pill. There isn't in terms of fitness, in terms of success in life. Um, there isn't a magic pill. I don't know what you guys think. It might be discouraging to hear that, but it is my honest view. Yeah, you're right. There's no easy fixes. I know people want it because they've been feeling very bad for a while. They're very like tired of life. Yeah, heartworm. I thought heartworm was like a slang or like a metaphor, so I didn't think too much about that. But yeah, it's a lot of hard work. I would say success is partly hard work and luck. Of course, you can say luck is the magic pill, but it's not in our control so much luck. So rather than focusing on just being lucky, we can work hard, and when we work hard, we increases our chance of being lucky. And so I wish I could tell everyone that, but that's not going to get views. Like people get views by saying, oh, abs in 2 weeks or abs in 1 week, or do this one exercise every day, you'll get abs. People like to know there's a shortcut or a magic fix. They don't want to hear it's just hard work, but they seem disappointed when I tell them my diet is just generally healthy. I don't have like a calorie counting or like this trick I used to eat, but it seems like people just want a magic fix, and it can be very frustrating when they keep wanting that when I can't give them that. But it is the truth. And yeah, that's it. Just here to do kind of a little bit something a bit different today. Maybe not so different. Normally when I do live, I'm like doing exercise most of the time. I can still do that. I might still do some exercise, but I'm thinking of doing more like podcasts in the future. So maybe like have videos where I talk about ideas or opinions, and you guys can discuss or chat about it, and we can have a discussion about that because that could be more fun. What is incremental fasting? Do you mean intermittent fasting? Could be the autocorrect, or maybe you have a different way of saying it. Yeah. In intermittent fasting? Not sure what. Yeah. Hopefully you can hear me well. This computer isn't best at picking up audio. Oh yeah, okay. Sometimes I accidentally do it. Sometimes it's like I'm busy and I forget to eat. Then it is kind of intermittent fasting. That's a good question actually. I haven't thought too much about that. But I actually believe the best type of diet, of course, everybody's different. This is just generally what I think is best. It doesn't apply to everyone. It's my opinion. You might not feel the same with your body. Everyone's body reacts differently. But I think what works best for me is if I can do like intuitive eating. So intuitive eating, I think it just means you eat when your body feels hungry. Of course, that doesn't apply to people with like binge eating disorder or any like eating disorders. I'm not talking about eating disorders. I'm saying if you don't have eating disorders and you just like kind of trying to have like a healthy diet, I would say what works for me is like listen to my body. If my body really craves something or wants something, I will just eat when I'm feeling hungry. And when I'm not feeling hungry and I'm just bored, oh, I'm eating because I'm bored, maybe I can eat a little bit for fun. A little bit is fine. in moderation. And then in my other free time, while I'm not eating, I try to focus on other fun things to do, because we don't want to just have all our joy come from food. If all our joy comes from food, we can then become like addicted, because it's like a drug to us, right? So if we, yeah, I would say listen to your body. When you're hungry, get some food. If you really, really want to have that small piece of chocolate today, have it. But of course, this doesn't apply. This wouldn't really help people who have like an eating disorder. Like if they have binge eating disorder, that is really hard to say. Just eat when you feel like it, because they just always feel like it, right? Or a lot, feel like it a lot. So yeah, what do you think though? What do you guys think about intermittent fasting? Do you like it? Does it work for you? Um, I'm not talking about it in the weight loss perspective. My goal isn't weight loss, so it's not about whether or not you lose weight. It's just about what feels best, what's the healthiest. I think it's eating when you feel like eating, having like in just eating when you feel like you want to eat and you're hungry. Having like a more balanced, regular diet. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. I like that. Yeah, me too. I always do intermittent fasting by accident, because sometimes you're busy or you're really focused on your interest. Like if you have something you're doing for fun, let's say you're like doing your hobby, and Anon, I think you like to do like hunting or shooting, that kind of stuff. I've seen your videos. It's your interest. Then you can forget to eat because you're so involved with it. So maybe I shouldn't say intuitive eating. Like intuitive eating means you only eat when you feel like it, but when you're focused on your things, you forget to eat. So maybe not intuitive eating. Of course, listen to your body. If you feel like eating, eat. But when you're busy, still try to remember to eat. So maybe like a regular diet, like breakfast, lunch, dinner is good. And also, if you feel like eating in the middle, if you like a small snack, that's good too. So yeah, I would say the best diet is like done in a balanced way. So not the extreme, not like starving yourself too much, but not also binging too much and eating whatever the hell you like. So maybe in the middle, somewhere balanced, where you can, eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, have snacks in between if you feel like it, and have a bit of mainly healthy whole foods, but you can have a little bit of junk or fun food here and there. That's my what I do and what I try to do and believe in. Yeah. What do you guys think? Um what topics would you like to cover for podcast? Well, of course, people would say just talk about what people want to talk about. Talk about the current events. That's good, but only if I'm interested. See, I'm not very interested in politics myself. I'm not interested in politics, history. I know. You guys will say, if you know about history or politics, you can be more informed. You can like make better decisions and avoid mistakes. But the thing is, I don't feel like it's so boring to me, and just because we know history doesn't mean we won't make the same mistakes. People who learn about history know that humans make mistakes every day, all the time. It still happens. So it's not an excuse to learn about history or politics. Plus, I will say why I'm not interested in politics. To me, most politicians are the same. I know they might present differently, they might be more charming, or they might be seeming to do more better things. But to me, politics attracts people who are power hungry a lot of times, because if you think about it, if somebody is really kind, let's say the person is just really like a good person who wants to do good for society, you don't have to do it through politics. You can do it through volunteering at a mental institution, at aged care. You can go and like make free food and give to homeless people. You can do really kind things without announcing to public, without getting funding for it, without marketing it, without getting into power positions. You can do kind things right away, and it's much easier sometimes to do kind things this way than to go through the politics and elections and everything. So I think politics might attract actually power and status hungry people, which means most of the time politicians are all like pretty terrible people. And so why would I be interested in talking about the people who are narcissists, who are like psychopathic, and who are not really doing good for society? It's really fucking boring and pointless to me. So rather than talking about politics or politicians or changing things through politics, I would rather do change from myself. While and by that I mean I will encourage and to reward and validate kind people and kind behavior more, and give less attention to toxic behavior, because the more attention we give to something, the more rewarding and the more like we encourage that behavior. So if I want to encourage good behavior and kind behavior, I just reward these kind people with attention rather than focus on politicians and politics who are mostly power hungry, status hungry people. Yeah. And even if they were kind, let's say there's someone kind in politics, there's so little they can do to change, because one person in politics, unless it's a dictatorship, they can't really change much. Yeah. They have so many people they have to work with, so many loops to go through, so many evil people they have to go through to make changes. And that's very hard. Yeah. Okay, so getting back to your comment, sorry I was a bit distracted. Um, yeah, okay. So Lewis said, I've never tried intermittent fasting and I don't have a proper diet, but I guess I eat 2 meals a day since I tend to forget to eat breakfast, so I eat lunch and dinner instead. Haha. Yeah, that's Lewis, that's very relatable. I do the same thing a lot too. Like I forget to eat breakfast, or breakfast is meshed with lunch. Not sure if that's a problem. Some people think that's not an issue. It's fine. And let me just switch on the light for this because it's a bit dark in here. I wonder if you'll be able to see. Yeah, it's much brighter and the image might be better. So yeah, what do you think, Louis? Do you think it's good to have 2 meals a day? How is that working for you? Do you like it? You works well. You don't too hungry. You're not too hungry. You have energy to do things. Yeah. And no worries. I'm always curious about you because you seem like a very passionate and supportive person, and I always admire people with a lot of passion in their interests while also supporting other people's interests. So you're not all about yourself. You're not all like, hey, look at me, look at how amazing my passion is. You're very, very like passionate about your own hobbies, but you also encourage other people and you're interested in other people's stuff too. And that is a very amazing balance, in my opinion. And so I wish more people can be like you and me, because a lot of people who like a certain hobby, they're only interested in their own hobby. They're like, oh, if I like fishing and that's my only hobby, I only care about fishing and I only want to talk about fishing, and people who don't like it, fuck them, I think it's better if you are interested in your thing but also interested in other people and supporting them. That would make life in the world much better place. Plus it's good for you too, because if you're interested in other people's stuff, it is better for human connection, and then you will have a better life having good connection with people. It's not just all about you. Yeah. So that's awesome, Anon. And I work at Anon said I work at 7. Oh, work 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. watching kids. No time to eat. So wait, is your job watching kids, like you're a nanny or a caregiver, or do you mean outside of work you still watch kids, so very little time? Seems like you're very busy. I'm really flattered you even have time to watch this and chat. The moon blue. Hello, welcome. Thanks for saying hi there. I'm not sure if you're still here because I think some people came and left. But if you're still here, hi. How to get rid of arm fat when I'm skinny? So it's a very, very common question. A lot of people ask how they can reduce fat in a certain area. Often it's not arm, often they ask about tummy, like especially lower tummy fat. And if you can see, I also have like a bit of, I know I haven't eaten yet, so it's not super obvious, but even if I work out a lot, I have abs here, but the lower belly is the hard part. The lower belly still has some like fat, if you can see. I know it's not too much right now because I just haven't eaten yet today. Talking about diet, I was really busy. I was teaching a student just now, but very good question, Moon Blue. I keep saying Moon Blue. It sounds like it should be Moon Blue. But what I learned from hearing about this from other fitness professionals, this doesn't mean, because like I am not a professional in dieting and not qualified to give this advice, but I can tell you my own personal opinion based on what I learned. What I heard from other fitness professionals is that we cannot spot reduce. So we cannot say, I just want to get rid of arm fat and just reduce fat in the arms. If you want to get rid of arm fat, you got to get rid of fat in general. So all over the body, it would be like doing some maybe kind of fat burning exercises, and also combined with perhaps a healthy balanced diet. Calories in, calories out. If calories in are lower than calories out, then you will lose fat or weight. That is what I heard. So basically, yeah, do some kind of cardio combined with weight training, because if it's just cardio, while you can burn fat, you can also burn muscles. It's better to actually combine the cardio with some kind of weight or resistance training, because when you do resistance training, you will build muscles which burns fat faster. So you're gonna be able to lose fat all over the body, not just a particular part. And of course, your arms can get more toned if you do more like weight or resistance training kind of exercise on the arms. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you agree? Disagree? Um, oh, thank you, Anon. This is kind of like a live chat slash podcast because I find it so boring to talk by myself because I like interacting with you and hearing what you think, even if you disagree or agree. Like it makes it more fun, right? If you're interacting. And so I prefer a podcast where it's kind of a live chat where you guys asking questions, sharing your opinions, and interacting. That is the kind of format I like. And if you like to watch podcast from where I'm in it, I'm really happy to hear that because that's my plan. I would like to make more podcasts in the future. So it's not just showing my fitness journey. I'll still do like pole fitness videos, but I feel like one of my fortes and what I like to do is to interact with people, talk to them, have deeper chats with them. Not just, hi, how are you? Oh, show me your ass. Not that kind of chat, just that. But I like to have these kind of discussions with you like I'm doing right now. And it's also one of my strengths is talking to people. I feel like I'm not too nervous about public speaking and I enjoy this reciprocal back and forth interaction with people. So you guys being here really, really helps me do a better job at this podcast. So thank you. If you have any requests or special ideas that you want to give for podcast topics, feel free to share. But I think I might start with talking about fitness because that's what a lot of people are here for. But I'm also very interested in talking about relationships, dating. For example, a good topic would be, is it right or wrong to have a racial preference for dating? I'm not talking about racial requirement. I'm not saying the person has to be Asian or something. No, I'm talking about racial preference or ethnic preference for dating. Is it right or wrong? Because some people get so mad. Some people are like, well, you're racist for only preferring a certain race. That's racist. But some people say, no, it's not racist. It's just a preference. Just like some people prefer eating a certain flavor of ice cream and not other flavors. It doesn't mean you hate the other flavors or say they suck or you discriminate against other flavors or are unfair to them. You just do not prefer them. So yeah, there's a good topic that I like to talk about, which we can talk about later after answering your questions. So Anon said, I'm a teacher and teach after school, but I love watching and supporting your videos. Oh, wow, you work so much. You teach, but then after school, you teach as well. Wow, that's amazing. How do you feel about it? You like it? I know it might be hard to talk about in a public forum, so don't worry if there's something too personal. You don't have to answer. I'm just really curious. And Louis said, well, I do eat snacks in the morning and definitely drink coffee or an energy drink. So that balances out my hunger. And during the morning, oh, okay. I work out once, twice a day, so I tend to eat large portions. Ah, yeah, we need to eat to fuel exercise. So it's good that you keep up the fuel by your food. And okay, if you eat snacks in the morning, that gives you some, I guess, some energy. Coffee or energy drink isn't my thing because I avoid caffeine because caffeine makes me very jittery, very overly hyper. I'm hyper enough. My problem isn't lack of energy like some people do. That's fine if that's your thing. That's no shame in that. That is something we do struggle with sometimes. But my problem is more too much energy. Sometimes I'm so hyper. I was even more hyper as a kid that I couldn't stand myself. Watching myself as a kid, I'm like, what the fuck? What is she doing? Because literally watching back at old videos as a kid, I would do stuff like that. Just walking down the street with my family, right? We're just walking out, like going to the bus stop. I would be like, instead of walking properly as a kid, people walk like, yeah, 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 kids run around, sure. I would walk like that sometimes, like I would do that randomly just because maybe too much energy to burn. And I feel like sometimes my anger comes from that. Like in the past, I used to be very angry because maybe it's too much energy to burn. So exercise really helps me burn that energy. And I feel sorry for my husband. He has to deal with my overly hyper self. And that's why you see, you you guys will say like, oh, you guys are cute. You are cute. You can get any guy you want. No, Guys might think I'm cute at first, but they can't stand how intense or energetic I am. Guys like me sometimes, but just for sex, because they think this girl is fun, she's cute, but I can't stand her long term. She's too energetic, she's too hyper, too much for me. So it's one of my insecurities is that people don't accept me for who I am. Because the deep inside, who I really am is I'm super, super hyper. So energetic, so hyper, so intense that good in short bursts. You can hang out with me a short time, you'll like it. It's really fun. It's like a circus. But in the long run, um, yeah, they just can't stand it. I know they mean well. I know they are good people, but they just think, oh shit, she's too much, and I can't date her long term. And that's why before I met my husband, I was so afraid that guys would just use me for sex or just like me for sex because they think I'm cute or fun, and they just like it short term. It's long term. Either they or they think their parents won't stand me. So yeah, you see, that's the thing. But I guess we all have insecurities like that. So I'm not special that way. Um, yeah, that's right, Lewis. I agree. I think healthy, balanced diet and proper sleep helps. Yes, I only recently realized how important sleep is, because if you have a good night's sleep, even just one good night's sleep, doesn't it make your whole day better? Like, have you guys ever had one night where suddenly you slept so well, you don't know what happened, but you wake up so refreshed? That makes your whole day so much easier and so much happier, and you feel so much calmer and strong. So sleep is underrated. People are always talking about, oh, what do I eat in a day? I want videos of what I eat in a day. Look at food videos, what people eat, look at what diet is the best, and they look at what fitness is the best. There's so many fitness videos, but how often do people actually sit down and properly watch a sleep video? I'm not talking about sleep as in someone sleeping, just snoring, but I'm talking about a sleep technique video, a video for sleep hygiene, for good sleep. It's very few, but I think it's seriously underrated, and it can actually be the most important thing out of sleep, diet, exercise. I think if you have good sleep last night, then you wake up today feeling energized, feeling refreshed, feeling happy. So that means you will be more equipped to do good exercise. You'll be better equipped at doing the good fitness that day, and you would also be better at choosing your diet if you're feeling good waking up. So honestly, let's maybe focus a bit more on better sleep. I That's something I work. Actually, my New Year's resolution for this coming year, 2013, it's not sleep. It's not diet or exercise. It's not friendships, which normally is about like making good friends or something. But actually, it's me wanting to have better sleep and sleeping earlier when I feel sleepy. Because sometimes I feel sleepy at like midnight or something, but I ignore it because of the revenge sleep procrastination thing you might have heard about. It's where people feel like they haven't had enough fun in a day, so they try to have this procrastination revenge thing with sleep, so they stay up longer just to like have more fun. But that means the next day will be harder because you sleep late, you sleep less, your sleep is not so good quality, and then you wake up feeling shit and the cycle repeats. So this coming year, 2013, my goal is takes a lot of self-discipline, is to actually go to bed earlier, maybe around like 11 p.m. if I can, and go to bed when I'm sleepy. And I say that because sleepiness comes in waves. And if you don't catch that, if you miss that sleep wave, you have to wait for the next one, which might come soon or later. So, yeah. And what about you guys? Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions like 2013? Oh, no, 2013, 2023 resolutions. Yeah, let me know. Feel free to share. And Harry Namal says, so inspiring. I work out at home too with Pamela Reef daily and never saw significant changes in body composition with home workouts until I discovered you. Since then, I can see my obliques so much. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Harry. I'm really happy to hear that because I thought most people who watch me here they are into my pole videos or my fitness progress videos, but I didn't know that people here actually do my workouts. I haven't filmed a workout for a long time, but if you find it inspiring, then I'm so happy and flattered. Thank you, Harry. And if you want to see more of my fitness videos, like as in workout videos, like follow along workouts, what would you like to see? Do you like the strength ones, the core, butt, or flexibility. A lot of people ask about that. So yeah, let me know. I've been meaning to do that, but just run out of time somehow because I prioritized other things. So you telling me that, Harry, makes me want to make more kind of workout videos because makes you happy and helps you. So it makes me really happy too. So thank you, Harry, for telling me that. And yes, Lewis, have a think about podcast ideas. If you have any ideas, feel free to share. I'm always open to them. Yeah. And oh, Anon and Lewis are talking about the racial preference when it comes to dating. Oh, that's a really good question. Wait, there's a really good one. I love that. So let me drink some water and give you a proper answer. Hmm. Also, it's my first time doing this kind of podcast thing, so I might sound a little bit nervous or overly excited. Thanks for bearing with me. It's just a bit nervous doing this the first time. Not sure how it would go. Not sure how much I'll be judged saying what I say and acting how I normally act, unfiltered. But I'm trying my best to be calm and yeah, trying my best to stay calm. Wait, let me set it. I might set up the computer at a more like comfortable position so I can properly talk to you guys and not feel the need to adjust my positions too much. So yeah, how is that? Yeah, that might be a bit better for me. And oh, just a sec. Let me put it up. So yeah, that is a very good question, which we talked about a little bit about earlier. We touched a little bit on. And I'm just trying to get the good angle for this chat so I can sit comfortably with you all. Yeah, maybe this is better because then I can be like that. Okay. So, racial preference. Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit slow in reading the comments because I'm just adjusting my position. Yeah, so personally, this might attract some hate, which I can see coming, but that's okay. You can disagree. So basically, I think there's no problem at all having a racial preference for dating. So um if you prefer dating a certain race just because you're more attracted to them, right? What's wrong with that? It's similar to, okay, if you look at all the colors on the spectrum or the rainbow, right? I'm sure there's colors you prefer. Like you might prefer red more, you might prefer purple more. But if you prefer a color, is that wrong? Is that bad? Like, why is it wrong to prefer a certain color? You're not saying, oh, these other colors suck shit. I hate the other colors. They're bad. They're ugly. You're not saying other races are ugly. You're just not attracted to them. And you can't help what you're attracted to. You cannot help but not feel attracted to a certain ethnicity, right? Like maybe there's someone in the ethnic background that is attractive. Maybe there's someone who's kind of an exception. But if you're just not usually not attracted, what's wrong with that? So I see nothing wrong with it at all. And if people are offended by it, I think they might want to try to understand why they're offended and maybe work around some insecurities. Because if someone says, "Oh, I'm just not attracted to Asian girls," like I'm not offended. I feel a little bit rejected. Of course, I feel like, "Oh, you don't find me attractive? That is a bit rejecting of me." I feel sad. But it's not wrong that they don't like it. I would rather they be honest about themselves and just say what they like and what they don't like. Like nothing wrong with that. It's just like you like one color, one flavor over the other. It's your own personal attractiveness. Well, personal attraction preference. What's wrong with that? So what do you think? And if you do think it's wrong to just say you prefer a race over the other in dating, why is it wrong? Yeah, and give actual examples, especially in your own life, rather than just say, oh, because it's wrong, but maybe give some specific examples of why. And I would like to hear that. Yeah, so Louis said, I have no proper preference when it comes to dating. If I mesh well with the opposite sex and have some things in common, then that's all that matters to me. Yeah, well, that's good. That means if you're you don't have a preference, that means you have a wider range of potential suitors, right? Potential people that you can be attracted to and be with. So that's really good for you. Yeah. And that is really awesome, Louis. So you also come across, when you say that, you make me think like maybe you don't really care too much about like the person's looks. So even if like you see a girl and she's not like hot to you, then you will still like get to know her, give her a chance, and like maybe if you click in your personality, you will be together. So that's awesome. That's really good. Anon said, I love teaching. I had a lot of jobs, but teaching little ones lets you be silly and have fun all day for the most part. Oh, that's so cute. That's awesome. You must have so much patience though to like work with little ones. I think there's a lot of love and patience involved. So I'm glad that they have you. That's good. And so yeah, like do you teach like people who are like in preschool or kindergarten? How young are these kids? And Louis said, haha, well, I need caffeine since I work in an office. It gets boring after first hour, so I need to drink 2 or 3 cups a day. Well, that's fair, Louis. Totally understandable. Like, I know the hardest thing in life to do if you have to do something, the hardest thing isn't so much, oh, it's difficult or it's challenging. Sometimes it's not the hard part. The hard part is the boredom. That is so true because I feel the same when it comes to exercise sometimes. Like, I exercise every day and I have somewhat of a routine and it can get boring. So the boredom is hard. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Harry said, I think preferences are completely normal. We can relate to some races more than others, and also it's human to have aesthetic preferences, and some races have more distinct facial features than another. Yeah, Harry, I agree. It is very human and normal, and it's good to normalize it rather than shame it. And it doesn't help to shame it. Let's say somebody isn't preferring a race and you're offended because you feel ugly, right? How does it help to yell at them and say, hey, fuck you, racist? Do you think telling them fuck you, racist will change them? And then they'll suddenly be attracted to you. Unless they're masochists or very, very submissive people, I don't think they'll be more attracted to you just because you say, hey, fuck you, racist. It's not going to change just because people are angry about it. It is human nature. There's nothing wrong with it having a preference as long as you're respectful to all the races. You're respectful to the races you're not attracted to. That's fine. Yeah. And yeah, people do have aesthetic preferences, and my latest video about the double standard isn't so much saying, oh, it's wrong to have preference for weight or to have preference for height. If you have a preference for certain weight or certain height, that's okay, but it is not right to have double standards in my opinion. So don't go be like shaming people who prefer height and then don't shame people who prefer the weight preference. So if you want to shame people, shame everyone, be fair, like be like, hey, you prefer height, that sucks, that's wrong. Oh, you prefer weight, no, that sucks. But don't be like, okay, it's all right to have preference for height, but it's not okay for preference for weight. No, be fair. Yeah, it's actually, in my opinion, it's much more unfair to have a preference for height than a preference for weight because people can normally change their weight, right? People can lose weight, they can change it, but people can't really change their height once they grow up, like once they're an adult. They can't really be taller. So to like have a strict preference for height and then judge people who are shorter, it's not really, really nice because they can't really change that. Even if they work hard, I know there's crazy surgery that breaks people's legs and then try to grow the bones back together. Oh, to me, that's just so wrong and inhumane. It's really not possible unless you do that surgery. I don't know if it's even possible with that surgery or good to even try it. Height is something that's not really changeable once you grow up, and with the weight, then yes, it's more changeable, but I think it's still not right to have double standards. So like, yeah, if people want to have a preference for weight, fine, that's your preference. And people want to have a preference for height, sure, that's your preference. But don't go judge one but not the other. Don't go be like, ew, that person wants someone who's this height. That's not right. And then saying it's okay to judge for weight. Don't have double standards there. That's my opinion. Yeah. Um. Yeah, okay. Louis said, not only you feel better after a good night's sleep, but it helps you with your metabolism. The usual peak hours your metabolism hits is between 6 to 8 hours marker. Oh, that's interesting. Good to know. And I only know that because I had a dietitian and physical trainer tell us in the workplace that when you work out in the mornings, your metabolism keeps in for a bit. And if you eat a meal, it supports it. Oh, yeah, that's good to know. That's like fuel for your exercise. And then it's like starts the machine going. Yeah, that's good. I can say I don't mind dating a woman who is about my height. I'm 5'3", so I'm a short guy, but my personal preference would be dating someone taller than I. Yeah, that's fair. I noticed that when like seems like people who are shorter prefer a higher person to date with and a taller person prefers a shorter person. It could be the genetic thing where having opposite genetics, you're attracted to your opposite genetics because that's like good for the offspring. I don't know if it's true, but maybe it makes sense. So yeah, I don't. I mean, I think it's human nature. People have preference for dating a certain type of people, like whether it's height, whether it's weight, whether it's racial preference. It's okay if you have that preference, as long as you respect the other people. So like if people are like not your preference, still be kind and respectful to them. Don't judge them or be mean just because they are not in your expectation of what's attractive. So just be respectful, and then you can have your own preference. Whatever you like is your preference. Everybody has their own preferences. I'm not offended if somebody like is not like attracted to the type of person I am. I know it can hurt a bit. Rejection hurts, but it is just human nature. Yeah, I actually got somebody who was very very pissed off at me in a live chat before in TikTok. That was because I was talking about dating and I mentioned like Asian guys and white guys because just because I'm more usually attracted to Asian guys and white guys and not black guys. But it's not because I think they're ugly or anything, or I have like racist against the black people. I'll tell you why. It's because when I grow up, most people around me are either Asian or white. I don't really know many black people. And actually, I only started getting closer to black people recently because of my teaching pole. Like when I teach pole, I get some black girls who are interested, and that's how I got to know them better. But before that, I don't didn't really get like in my proximity. I didn't get close to like I didn't wasn't too familiar with the black culture, black people. So I didn't get a chance to get to know them and then even know if I would be attracted. So it's just not what I'm used to growing up. I'm not familiar. And so secondly, I just haven't been, even if I met sometimes I meet black guys from university or where I live, like I just haven't found like this attraction for them. Like I can see that they are beautiful people and they are kind, they are so easy to talk to, they're very like interesting people, but I just haven't feel any magnetic attraction towards them, like physical attraction. And it doesn't mean they're ugly or bad, it's just haven't felt it myself. And what can I say, I just didn't feel it. And I'm not saying they're bad or there's nothing wrong with them. It's just hasn't happened. So of course, when I talk about dating, I talk about the Asian guys and the white guys that I have dated or have a crush on. And there was a bad experience when I talked about it, because when I talked about it, then this guy suddenly popped out of nowhere. I don't think he was even my follower at first, but he was very angry at me. He's like, "Well, there, yeah, here you go again, another girl who refuses to date black guys." And turns out he was very upset because he is a black guy who really likes Asian girls, and he was finding it hard to date an Asian girl where he is. So I explained why I said the things I said, and then he said, "Oh, actually, he was sorry to get angry at me." But what I'm saying is, if we are getting pissed off at someone for having a preference for who they're attracted to, a dating preference, then maybe it is more our insecurity or our experiences that make us feel this way. It's not so much that that person is doing something wrong for having a preference. Everyone has preferences. But in that case, I would say maybe they might find it helpful to look within themselves, like what is making me feel this way, this anger, and learn to sit with that feeling a bit, understand it, and process it so that we can feel calmer about it. Because it will also help them with dating. If they go into dates getting so angry at girls, very like sensitive to any sign of non-interest, then it's actually not good for them if they're like so sensitive and almost at tip of a point. So it might be better for them to understand why this anger is coming up, and also find a way to make it more balanced and soothe it so that they can have a calmer presence with people, especially on dates. And that calm presence, that confidence can be so attractive to anyone. I honestly think the most attractive thing to men, women, non binary, any gender, any human is confidence and vulnerability. So if you're confident and you're also willing to show vulnerability, that is just the most attractive thing, yeah, that you can show anyone, which will increase the chances of him getting dates that he wants. So good for him if he does it. And um, yeah, Louis said, "Well, it was short but fun stopping on the live chat. I have to sleep now. I need my 7 hours sleep before I wake up for my morning workout in the cold." Yeah, talking about how important sleep it is. It's so good that Louis is, going to go for his good sleep. So good on you, Louis. And if you're still here, I'll say adios, bye. and nice to chat with you. So yeah, we've got still three people here. I wonder who's still here. But yeah, what do you think about that? This racial preference thing, Do you guys have a racial preference when it comes to dating? And how do you feel about having a preference? Yeah, I've talked a lot, but I also want to see what you guys think. And while you guys are thinking, maybe I will just, you know, while you guys are thinking about what to say with this topic, I might just quickly um, do a little bit of my exercise because I still want to exercise today. Well, exercise while we wait for more people to come, maybe. Just a sec. I'll shift my thing. Whew. Okay. So, and how do you think this podcast is going? Let me know if I'm talking a bit too fast. I can do that naturally, but also if I'm nervous. So yeah, want to do more of a podcast chat thing. Yeah, and I really thank Lewis for reminding me to eat a bit maybe before exercise in the future because it will actually help fuel the exercise and make it a bit more fun. If we're hungry when we're exercising, that's not a good feeling either, right? Okay, so just making sure the angle is good. Good. Oh, still want to spin. Oh, the light is a little off. Yeah. And let me see what else is a good topic. So we talked about racial preference when it comes to dating. And it looks like most of us believe nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having a racial preference. It is human nature. It's very normal and okay, which really nice to hear. It kind of validates my feelings, but I'm open to a different opinion too, as long as we can voice our difference in opinion in a kind, respectful way. I'm open to it. Yeah, it's only I will only be upset if somebody is like condescending or mean. Because I remember one time I was talking to a follower, which I blocked. I had to block him in the end because I posted a video basically with a girl doing pole dancing in aged care in Taiwan. So she was doing stuff like this. So that girl, she was doing like stuff like like ooh. She was doing that to old men in aged care. And I posted that video supporting it, said, "Oh, that's so good. There's nothing inherently wrong with sex. It's okay to show, like sexy stuff in aged care. It's a good thing." And this follower was like, somehow have to bring up kids. Interesting. This is not a video with kids. This is a video with only old people in aged care and the workers in aged care who are adults. And this adult lady was doing like leg waves to the old man in aged care, and the old man was so happy. Yet this follower has to bring up kids. This follower has to say, "Oh, but it's wrong if kids are there. Don't do it when kids are there." So I was thinking, wait, there's no kids there. Why are you thinking of kids? And so I told him, well, I personally believe there's nothing wrong with doing the spicy dance, even in front of kids. So what? So what if you do it in front of kids? What? Are kids gonna go out and rape people, or kids are gonna do something stupid just because they see a girl doing like some sexy dance? No, I've seen sexy dance and sexy stuff when I was a kid. I'm fine. Like when I was a kid, I saw lady boy performance in Thailand. They do like sexy catwalk. So the lady boys are super pretty. They look even prettier than a lot of girls. Nice makeup. I couldn't even tell they physically. I think those the people there, they were still like physically, like they haven't changed, so they still have penis, but they dress up kind of like a drag show, right? And then like they walk like really sexily, and that's fine. Like I was a kid, I watched it. Wow, did I get ruined as a kid? Did I get very like did my mind get ruined? No. So I believe even if a kid sees pole dancing or sexy dance, nothing wrong with that. It's much better to show that like this is an art, this is a type of fitness that people do, and it's a good opportunity to educate kids about it, to tell kids this is what some people do for fun. It is seen as an art, although some people disrespect it and shame it. There's really nothing wrong with it, and as long as you're keeping yourself safe, you have good boundaries, and there's nothing wrong with people doing that for fun. And if you do that as a kid, of course you might attract pedos or like scary people, but of course limit how much you do that based on how much safety that we want to have. And as long as they keep themselves safe and also have like good boundaries and assertiveness, what's wrong with kids seeing that? So I told him something like, I don't think there's anything wrong even if kids see that. What's wrong with that? It's good, blah blah blah. And instead of providing a good argument about why they think it's wrong, they didn't tell me why they think it's wrong. They have no arguments against it. Instead of doing that, he just sent me a emoji of like red flag. So he's like telling me I'm a red flag. So basically, he had no good arguments against this and no good evidence about why the alternative is better. And he just like attacked my personality or me instead. So I just blocked him. Yeah, because if you want to have a good discussion with someone, it doesn't mean everybody has to agree with you. People can have different opinions. People can say, no, Sally, you're not right. I don't agree with this opinion about showing pole dance to kids. And if he can say why, he can calmly say, because blah, 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 these are the reasons, then I'll respect that. I'll say, oh, interesting, good to know. Thanks for helping me see your view. That's good to know what you're thinking, right? Good to learn your perspective. I would be very happy to hear that. And it makes discussion more fun than if everybody just agrees, right? But instead of doing that, he had no arguments at all. He had no good arguments. And all he did was send me a picture of red flag and try to criticize me and make me feel bad. So I blocked him. Yeah. So if anyone here wants to talk about certain topic and present a different view from me, let's say you think it's not good for kids to see pole dancing at all, that's just wrong. Yeah, feel free to share that. I'm happy to listen and look at your perspective as well. It would be interesting to learn. Happy to learn that, but provided that you do it respectfully. So if you don't attack me, don't do any personal attacks, don't criticize the person you're talking to, because what you're talking about here is just a topic that you guys have different perspective on, right? There's no need to attack the person and say you suck or you're ugly or you're stupid. So, and often people resort to that when they don't have any like good arguments against you, and in which case you won because they just don't have any good rebuttals. Yeah. What do you think? Feel free to share your opinion. Like, this is a place for us to talk about all the topics, even the controversial ones, even things that are hard to talk about. Feel free to share because I think that makes life more fun. And also, I don't think I'm always right. I'm not someone who everything I say is right, and my opinions have changed over the years. So always happy to listen to new ideas. Yeah, new ways of seeing things, new ways of doing things. Sometimes I take in people's suggestions, people's recommendations into account too. Yeah. One of the things I'm really grateful for, which I learned, is when I first started my whole journey, my account was not called Iron X Doll. My pole Instagram used to be called toilet.pole, like the bathroom toilet.pole. And some people actually, there was a random message one day. A girl was very angry at me for my name. She commented publicly on Instagram, saying, toilet.pole? What kind of name is it? What the fuck? She was very angry. At first, I was also offended because the fact that she was so offended and so angry made me angry. And then later I thought, wait, maybe she has a point. Maybe it's really a shit name because pole dancing plus toilet is just not appetizing at all. And it's not very nice. It doesn't make sense. Toilet.pole. So that plus I have two people in my life, my husband and my good friend. They recommend me to change my name. So I then changed my name. I listened. I decided to change my name to Iron X Doll. So do you think it's a good decision? Changing my name from toilet.pole to Iron X Doll. I think that's pretty smart. Yeah. That's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Right. How can we get here? Ooh. Okay. Okay, looks like We've talked for quite a long time. It's almost like 50 minutes. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this podcast slash live stream. I'm very happy that you guys joined me today. I want to see how this video goes. If there are people who are very interested in this podcast format, let me know in the comments down below. And if you prefer more like a pre-recorded video with like really good audio and visuals and just me talking without live chat, that's good too. Just let me know. So thanks for joining me today. I love you guys so much. Had a really good time interacting with you all and chatting with you. And if you have any kind of suggestions or recommendations for podcast topics and the format, let me know. I'm very open. So thank you all. Love you and hope you have a really nice day. Yay.